Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with the Open DAO, hanging out with Mrs. Yonks and E-Money 2 Zips. And we are burning the midnight oil here to deliver you how to stake. Everybody's been anxiously anticipating this. And this is one of the things that I absolutely love about the Open DAO is that they move forward on promises. So what does this mean here? Like staking and all of that. Let's just scroll down here to some initial promises. So right here in the initial distribution, and we're looking right now at the opendao.com, is to provide a staking incentive of 20%. The LP incentive for 10% has been live on sushi.com for a little while. We already have a video. I'm getting ready to do a part 2 on that as far as fully setting up the liquidity pool incentive, but that's another story. We'll follow the YouTube for that. So does anybody have any thoughts, or should we just hop right in? Mrs. Yonks or E-Money 2 Zips before we get down to it?
I would love for the people in the audience who aren't familiar with staking, maybe they're newer to crypto, give us a 30-second overview of what staking is. People might not be familiar with that term. They might not know what you're talking about. So tell people what staking is before we get into how you do it and why you might want to and whatever.
Oh, you want to, were you?
No, all you, my friend.
Okay, so staking is a term that's used for a lot of different methods of utilizing crypto assets, but in terms of single asset staking, which is what has just started on the Open DAO website, essentially what you do is you put your tokens into a vault, and by having those tokens locked in the vault, it reduces the number that are on the open market, and also contributes to the image of stability that the DAO has, and having those assets locked in there provides benefit to the DAO itself and or whatever you're usually staking on with single asset staking. And because of that, entities will reward people who stake their tokens with additional tokens. The community voted recently to have the staking rewards distributed over the course of this year. There have been a couple of community members in the Discord that have broken down some of the math, but the rewards earning should be going live shortly. You can check in the staking countdown to see how long is left. And we're going to give you a walkthrough on how to stake your tokens and what to expect.
That's great. Thanks for that. And so do people, if the price goes up or down, do people own the tokens at the same price? Tell us how that works. So the price starts at X, it goes to Y. Over what happens to your tokens while they're in the...
Those actually, when you stake a single asset, and you'll see this as we go through the process, but when you stake a single asset, you're essentially just depositing them in a metaphysical piggy bank. So the number of tokens that you put in there is the number of tokens that you will get out. In this particular case, there are some other forms of staking that do that differently, but this is a 1-to-1 ratio. So in order, the SOS tokens are actually a utility token that gives you votes. When they're not in your wallet, you can't vote. So what is happening now is there is a VE SOS that gives you voting ability that will be distributed on a 1-to-1 basis when you deposit tokens into the staking location. That will allow you to continue to have a voice in the community while also earning rewards on your staked tokens.
Right. And if you
but-
want to, if you want to pull out of your, if you want to pull your tokens out of the vault early, are you able to do that? How does that work?
There is, from what I've seen, there is not a lock on this staking. So in theory, you should be able to pull it out immediately. I mean, you know, the transaction times are still going to take place, but when you go to pull it out, it should come out. I will actually test that right now to verify.
And while you're doing that, eMoney, I wanted to, I've got the snapshot, which is the governance framework that Open DAO operates on. And we're on the homepage here. You can click on the little lightning bolt and it takes you here to Open DAO. Like if you just go to snapshot.org and you do a search for Open DAO, be aware there's some posers out there. Like the one that's the legit one is the one with all the members in it. Like these are imposters. So again, click on the lightning bolt. And the reason that this is relevant to this conversation, one of the very first proposals that was put forward is SOS IP. And for those that aren't familiar, IP is a improvement proposal. It's very common. I think that dates to Bitcoin itself, the granddaddy of all blockchains, which is a BIP, blockchain improvement proposal. Ethereum also has an Ethereum EIP, Ethereum improvement proposal. So SOS is following course of best practices here. And this is one of the first proposals that was put forward. And in this particular proposal, there were several options that were put forward as far as the this pool that I showed you already, this 20% staking incentive. And the options that were put forward and voted very early on is a 1 year, 3 year, and you can see on snapshot.org. And as you can see, overwhelmingly, the community voted on the 1 year linear. So this 20 trillion SOS incentive pool is agreed to be paid out over a 1 year linear manner. So I just wanted to kind of provide a little backstory as far as where we got to where we're at right now.
And is that 1 year starting from a certain date, or is it a rolling 1 year from whenever you put your money in the vault or you put your tokens in the vault?
It's starting from right now, and that's what eMoney was alluding to. This is literally the staking countdown that was referred to, and it looks like that this was yesterday. So this is getting ready to unfold right now, and that's one of the things, again, that I absolutely love about SOS is that they don't just talk about doing stuff. We are moving forward and we have an immense amount of momentum and making good on initial promises here that we've put forward to the community.
And adjusting when the community says that they would rather do something different, which I think is also amazing.
That's huge. And for all the whales in this community, there are a shockingly loud voice of people who are not whales. So I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
By the way, anybody who is listening on YouTube, if you have questions, drop those in the comments. We do monitor those in real time. We can go ahead to how you actually stake. I just wanted to make sure that people who aren't familiar with what you're talking about don't get lost when we start doing the staking. So if you guys have additional questions, go ahead and drop those. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. I just want to make sure everybody's clear before we do.
So I will tell you, I did just test. You can immediately unstake and restake.
Okay, and are you able to add more tokens to it? So if you want to add more in 3 months,
tokens to your already existing stake without any issues.
And everybody gets the same stake. You have a 1 token, you have 1 billion tokens. Everybody gets the same rate of staking.
Well, the way that rewards are distributed with staking is that there's a daily allotment that is distributed based on, oh my gosh, sorry, I'm having mental slip. What is the word for like divided evenly among all the parts? Proportionally. It's all divided proportionally by the amount you staked. So if you staked 1 million and somebody else staked 10 million, they're going to get 10 times more of the split than you will.
Right. But it's not, if I have 1 million and you have 10 million, then you don't get like 100 times more rewards. You get 10 times because you have 10 times more tokens. So we all
It's
get
a
the same
proportionate
rate.
amount. Yeah, it's 1 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really important. Okay, cool. Well, I think those are probably the common questions that newbies might have. If anybody, again, is newer to this and you do have questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments. But yeah, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page to get started.
Yeah, and be sure if you're watching the replay here too, this is something that I'm sure that additional questions will come up, and we'll do our best to review any of the comments that come in through the various social media channels to ensure that we get those answered, because this is something that's in place for the next year. So this isn't an incentive that's just like here and gone. This is something that's in place for a decent runway. And the biggest thing is that it does cost a transaction, and that's something that you'll see when we go through this process. So before we do it to it, any questions, Mrs. Yonks or E-Money?
Do I have any questions about it?
Yeah, are we just ready to go?
Oh yeah, let's do it. This
All
is
right.
I just tested it like 3 times back and forth and added additional tokens just to make sure. So we're good to go.
Fabulous.
This is actually a really smooth and simple process. I think we just need to let people know that the approvals are interactions with the blockchain, so they do have a small cost to them.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. And that's good to make note of. What would you have, Mrs. Yonks?
I was going to say, could you talk about how gas fees vary throughout the day so people can try and do that, or are they not high enough to worry about?
So it was about $20 for each of the approval transactions. While the GUI was between, okay. Okay, so the easiest way to explain this is that blockchain interactions have a cost. And the reason for this is that when miners are minting blocks, part of the reward comes from processing all the transactions that are happening within that block. The more difficult or complex a transaction is, the more it will cost. The amount of transactions that are happening on the network is generally displayed in that GUI form, which if you're in the Discord and you look at the top right side, you can see the gas tracker bot. The GUI is listed right there. Right now it's at 112 for fast, 111 for medium, and 110 for slow. So that's the base fee for the transactions. And I'm sure there's a way more scientific way to explain this, but essentially something like an approval is just the blockchain confirming that it's okay for a transfer to be made from a location to another location. But it's a separate transaction than actually moving it, specifically because that process of getting that signature and allowing that approval to take place is kind of like the door to a house. And it has to be unlocked in order to move it on the blockchain. So that's a simple transaction. A deposit is also a simple transaction. When you're interacting with smart contracts, that's when things start getting more complex. And that's why you see higher gas fees on things like mints and trades and swaps and stuff like that. So sorry, didn't mean to go on that long.
No, it's valuable. One of the things that we're committed to at Open DAO is not just about telling people about SOS. I really want people to learn blockchain. I joke around that it's such a comical thing that Jason and I are full-time in DAOs now, because we got together as a couple. I think 4 or 5 years ago, and on our first date, I think I thought blockchain and Bitcoin were the same thing. So to go from there to where we are now is, I just want everybody to not get lost or feel run over, because there's so much terminology, there's so much stuff. People talk about staking, minting, incentives, distributions, gas, and all of a sudden, if you don't know the vocab, you just kind of get run over. So I just want to kind of pause, and so thank you for your contributions on that.
The other thing I was gonna say is that the gas times or the gas prices generally spike. I have a theory about this. I haven't been able to prove it, so somebody might be able to tell me if I'm wrong in the audience, but when certain areas of the world are more active, gas prices spike. So like when the markets are open in New York and LA during the day, the prices can go way higher. If there are major mints on the network that there's a lot of people minting from, like when Clonex minted, the gas prices spiked over 400. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can affect it, but I generally have found that around 11 p.m. Eastern time, 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern time, there's a lull, and then around somewhere between 5 and 7 a.m. Eastern time, there's also normally a lull on weekdays, and
So
it's definitely slower on Sundays.
So that's around 4 a.m. UTC and around noon UTC. So if you're watching not in the United States, wherever time zone that is for you. Yeah. So
also, I think that the blockchain networks and the nodes, I'm not 100% certain about this, but I don't know if they process transactions, like if the GUI is different in different like regions. I'm not 100% certain on that. I've never actually looked into that.
yeah, that's good to know.
But anyway, let's stake.
Okay,
let's do it. I love a good steak. So right now I haven't connected my wallet here, so let's go ahead and do that. So connect wallet, MetaMask, and got a nice big screen here.
So one more question while we're doing that. Is there a central place where people go to stake? Do you always stake it on, does every currency stake their own place? Or because I saw you're on the OpenDAO.com, do you go to Uniswap or Sushi or whatever? Or do you always do it from somewhere else?
Okay, so it's very important to note that Uniswap and SushiSwap and other DEXs, decentralized exchanges, normally do not offer single asset staking. That's a different thing. Those are liquidity pools, and you're actually staking the liquidity token, not the individual assets. The assets themselves that you put in are in the liquidity pool, and then you stake the token to earn rewards.
Cool.
So let's click on the stake button here, which will jump us down to the bottom of the page here. And I'm just going to read this through here. 20% of total SOS is available for staking incentive. The first OpenDAO improvement proposal has passed with 64.36% agreeing to a 1-year linear release schedule. You can find the snapshot here. It's what I already showed you earlier. For every SOS staked, you will receive BESOS. In return, BESOS comes with full voting rights at the OpenDAO and can be used as the governance token in other protocols projects. It may also receive potential airdrops from other projects. BESOS is automatically compounded for your benefit. Upon unstaking, you will receive your original SOS plus any additional SOS from official staking pool or other revenue sources. So we'll click on this button after we go through the process so that we can add that to the MetaMask here. And just wanted to show right now, we've got 1.13 billion SOS that we're going to be adding to the pool, and we're just going to stake it all on this because love the staking component here. So we're going to go ahead and click on approve, and this will bring up the first transaction. So this is you know, whatever, 24 bucks, right? So let's go ahead and approve that transaction, and then we'll open this up in another tab. So the transaction was submitted, and we'll have a little pop-up coming up here, just waiting for that to approve on the blockchain. And I just got a little pop-up in the side window here, and you can see transaction is mined. So I think that that's all there was to that. I think it's as simple as that. Let me refresh this page and see if this looks any different now. Scrolling down here, waiting for this to refresh. And I'll click on the connect wallet. So let's see, and I'll refresh this transaction over here. So there was the approval transaction that we got. And let's see, I'm going to refresh this one more time to see how this looks. Is this what it should look like, eMoney? You've went through this process before?
Yes. So hold on one second. I've got the live stream window in my way. Okay. So you're balancing your wallet right now is 1.1 billion. Check and make sure that, okay, so the approval went through. You see where it says approve SOS? Go back to the activity. So the approve went through. So now you need to go down and hit the green button again after you hit the 100%.
Okay.
Now
so
hit it again.
Stake.
Yep.
So it's a 2 transaction process. We click on the approval, and then we click on stake. All right. See, we're all learning here together, everybody. This is what I love about this stuff. So this is now the second transaction here. All right. And we'll open this up in another tab. And then we'll add this because the SOS. So I got a little pop-up here. Let's see if this is still okay. So you can see here the SOS is no longer in my wallet. So, and you can see down here, see where it's got staked. It went from a balance of 0 SOS. Now we've staked a lot of VE SOS. So we're looking good, right?
Yes.
So
so now you've got you can add the token by clicking the green. Yep.
Okay, let's do that. Let's add it because everybody likes seeing the number in the wallet, right?
Oh yeah. All right, now you should be able to go check your wallet.
Okay, so we're checking. Oh, look,
Boom,
there it is. Woohoo! We're staked. We got some stake on the VESOS.
Just so while we're on the subject, the unstaking process is very simple.
Okay.
You literally just click and do the exact same thing on the blue side.
Got it. See, I'm glad that you were helping to hold my hands here, eMoney, because we're all learning together, and that's one of the things that I love about the Web3 and the DAO ecosystem. So we're not all perfect. There's so much to learn here, and this is the thing that's so fabulous about this community. Do we have anything else? I mean, that seems so easy.
Nope, that's it. That's the staking process. You can now use your VSOS to vote, and yeah, you're earning rewards on your tokens now. And
fabulous.
Now that you got that out of the way, you can go join the alliances and help us build this into something awesome.
Yeah, and on that note, I really loved that video that we did earlier today. That was absolutely fabulous. Hopefully everybody found some value in that, and looking forward to what we're building here together. And you can see, what is this, almost 5 trillion that has been staked. I got to grab a screenshot here. If you haven't heard me, I'm a screenshot junkie, and I think I posted a screenshot in the operations alliance. I gotta just bounce over there real quick, just for the sake of everybody to have a little better depth of appreciation for how much of a screenshot junkie I am. Let me bring this over here. So the alliances, this is what eMoney was just talking about. We did a video on that in this Open DAO Verify. I think they moved it here to another channel. I'll have to find where they moved it to. But the thing that I was talking about here was the Operations Alliance. And I posted a screenshot right here. 32,000 screenshots on my iPhone. That's how much of a screenshot junkie I am. I just took another one there because I'm interested in seeing what the total value locked goes up here, because staking has only been live like literally not very many hours. So it's exciting to see that there's already 5 trillion. That's almost 5% of the total amount of available SOS that's been staked here. Any final thoughts before we call it a wrap? I mean, I feel good. I got my 1.1 billion SOS stake. Looking forward to 2022 and what we're building here at the Open DAO, the NFT community. As it says here, the token for the largest NFT community to pay tribute, to protect, and to promote.
So if people want to get in on this thing, there's only 20% of the tokens that are available to be staked. So there's not a possibility that people could just type 100%, right? It's just, that's it.
So the total circulation, there's a 20% allocated for a bonus. So, I mean, there's a possibility that the entire liquidity could be staked. That the possibility of that happening, though, because exchanges obviously don't want to have no liquidity. And that's, you know, a good portion, because that's one of the things that was so fabulous about this project is the amount of decentralized exchanges as well as some of the centralized exchanges. Like one of the things that I did here literally before making this video was I pulled some of the SOS liquidity that some of the SOS tokens that I had acquired off of KuCoin and pulled it over here because I wanted to participate in the staking. I want more of a set it and forget it return, which is what staking provides, if I understand the big staking incentive correctly. Passive income, righty money.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's the way.
Absolutely. And again, do your own research.
Great. Yeah, 100%. But
yeah, guys,
always do your own research. Never take anyone else's word for anything. Go look yourself.
This is super important. I just want to emphasize on this of we're telling you what we're doing. We're not telling you what you should be doing. And if you have questions or you need more, reach out to us in Discord or leave comments here in this YouTube video or whatever. Pretty easy to get in touch with. So just let us know how we can help you. We just really want you to learn this stuff and give yourself an opportunity to participate, because even as old as crypto is now, we're still really, really early.
Absolutely. And I got to come back to the big stake here, right here, how to staking. Thanks eMoney. Thanks Mrs. Yonks for hanging out tonight. Do you have, either of you have any final thoughts before we bring a wrap here tonight?
Just wanted to remind everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place. The more like our content, share it and subscribe to it. The more people know about this, the stronger our community is going to get, and the more people will be able to educate about what we're doing. So just help us promote this. And we just really want to be open for education for everybody.
Any final thoughts, eMoney?
Oh yeah, one. Let's fucking build. Let's do this. I'm excited.
LFG 2022.
If y'all need anything, please feel free to @ me. I am generally available. I don't sleep very much, and I am way too excited about this project. So holla, I'm here. I'll answer your questions. I'll say hello, whatever you need. Have a great night, guys.
Love it. Till next time, everybody.